My people, hear me! Our enemies gap, but we are stronger. United Shranva!
My people, we stand at a crossroads. Only together can we overcome the trials ahead.
Rejoice, people of the kingdom!
I have to find him. I will not bow to you!
You will obey or face the consequences.
Never!
Then so be it.
My lord, this cannot stand. The council demands action.
Patience, my lady. We must weigh all options. Rise and face your king. Yes, my lord.
Please, show mercy.
Sire, the enemy is at the gates. Then we fight. Ready the army. At once, my king.
My lord, I seek your counsel.
Speak, then.
The omens are troubling.
The crown feels heavier tonight. It always does during the Lunar Auction. I sit on the black stone throne, back straight, face calm, while my stomach twists like I'm about to be sick. The hall below me glows with torchlight and false celebration. Music plays softly, pretending this is honor instead of trade. Sit taller, Eldrick murmurs at my side. They're watching every breath. I know, I say quietly. The announcer clears his throat. Presenting Lady Alara of the West Cliffs. Strong bloodline. Fertile. Loyal. Alara steps forward and bows deeply. My king, she says, smiling. I would serve you and the crown. I nod once. No answer. She brings 4 allied packs, Eldrick whispers. Strategic. I don't need her packs, I reply. Another woman replaces her. Then another. Silk dresses. Painted smiles. Practiced bows. Each one waits for my hand to rise. Beautiful, someone whispers behind me. Perfect, another says. Perfect lies, I think. How many more? I mutter. Until you choose, Eldrick replies. That is the point. I hate this, I say. You rule because of this, he answers. I swallow. From the corner of the hall, I feel her presence before I see her. Celine. She stands among the nobles, crimson gown hugging her like a promise. When our eyes meet, she smiles slowly, confidently. She already sees herself beside me. You could end this now, Eldrick says. Choose her. I won't, I reply. She's ambitious, loved, and powerful. She wants the throne more than me. That doesn't make her useless. It makes her dangerous, I say. Celine steps forward without being called. My king, she says smoothly, must we drag this out? The court grows restless. I lean back. Return to your place. Her smile tightens. You always enjoy games. This isn't one. You'll regret pretending, she says softly. She steps back, but her eyes stay locked on mine. The announcer hesitates before speaking again. And now, he says, voice uncertain, the final offering. Chains clink. The sound slices through the hall. A girl stumbles forward, wrists bound, head lowered. Her hair is uneven, hiding part of her face. Scars mark her neck and arms, old and careless. Laughter erupts instantly. That's the last one? Is that even a woman? Pathetic. My jaw tightens. What's her name? I ask. The announcer swallows. Mireia, my king. Rejected Omega. No pack. No dowry. And you chained her, I say. She's unwanted, someone laughs. Even her family threw her away. Something inside my chest cracks. Mireia, I say. Her head lifts sharply. Our eyes meet. Fear. Expectation. Resignation. She's waiting for cruelty. Do you wish to be chosen? I ask. Gasps echo. She hesitates, then shakes her head. No. More laughter. She knows her place, Celine calls out. I rise from the throne. The hall falls into shocked silence. Eldrick grabs my sleeve. Think carefully. I am. I walk down the steps. Each one feels like a challenge. Mireia stiffens when I stop in front of her. Look at me, I say. She does, hands trembling. I won't hurt you, I say quietly. She doesn't believe me. I don't want your crown, she whispers. I know, I reply. Eldrick's voice shakes. My king. I raise my hand. I choose her, I say. The hall explodes. Laughter. Shouts. Rage. Celine screams, you humiliate us. I turn back once. I humiliate cruelty, I say. Mireia gasps softly. Why? I meet her eyes. I don't know, I admit. But for the first time, the crown doesn't feel like a cage. The laughter doesn't stop when the doors close. It follows me down the corridor like a stain. Did you see her? Is he blind? Our king has lost his mind. I keep walking. Mireia walks 2 steps behind me, head lowered, shoulders tight. Lift your head, I say. She flinches at my voice. I'm sorry. For what? For everything, she whispers. I stop. Don't apologize, I say. She freezes, unsure. Cale waits near the archway, arms crossed. What did you do? He demands. I made a choice, I reply. You made a spectacle, he snaps. The court is already sharpening knives. Let them, I say. They won't come for you first, Cale warns. They'll come for her. Mireia stiffens. Easy, I say. Cale notices her reaction and exhales slowly. She expects punishment. She won't get it, I say. That's new, he mutters. Servants line the hall. Some bow late. Others not at all. One maid whispers, disgusting, under her breath. I stop. Say it again, I say. She pales. Nothing, my king. Bow, I order. She hesitates, then bows to Mireia with clear resentment. Mireia whispers, please don't hurt her. I won't, I say. But they will respect you. They won't, she says quietly. They never do. In the council chamber, voices rise instantly. You humiliated us. You weakened alliances. This cannot stand. She is my chosen mate, I say. Then choose again, Lord Halric snaps. I will not. Celine's laughter cuts through the noise. You did this to hurt me, she says, stepping forward. Admit it. I meet her eyes. This wasn't about you. That's a lie, she says. You couldn't stand that I moved on. You never moved, I reply. You climbed. Gasps ripple. You picked her to mock the throne, Celine says, pointing at Mireia. Mireia flinches. I picked her because I wanted to, I say. Celine's smile turns sharp. Then you'll regret it. After the council disperses, Kale pulls me aside. They're plotting, he says. I expected that. Some want you replaced. I smile thinly. Let them try. He glances at Mireia. She won't survive this court. She's stronger than they think, I say. Kale studies her. You're wrong. She's terrified. Later, in my chambers, Mireia stands near the door. I can sleep on the floor, she says quickly. No, I reply. You'll take the bed. Her eyes widen. I don't deserve. Stop, I say. You don't owe me suffering. She hesitates. Kindness always costs something. It doesn't here, I reply. She sits stiffly on the edge of the bed. I move closer. She flinches. I stop instantly. I won't touch you, I say. Unless you ask. Her shoulders relax a fraction. Thank you, she whispers. Why do you keep thanking me? I ask. Because people like me thank kings, she says. I don't want that, I reply. What do you want, she asks. I open my mouth, then close it. I don't know, I admit. That night, a servant drops a tray loudly. Mireia jerks. I'm sorry. I grip the table. For what? For breathing wrong, she says. Something twists in my chest. You're safe here, I say. She doesn't answer. When sleep finally takes me, it's restless. I wake once to find Mireia sitting awake. Why are you still here? She asks softly. Because I chose you, I reply. She looks at me like she doesn't understand. Neither do I. But doubt creeps in. Did I choose rebellion? Pity? Or something I'm afraid to name? Living beside Mireia teaches me how cruel my kingdom truly is. Not in grand speeches. In small moments. A servant pauses too long before bowing. A guard avoids her eyes. A noble laughs a second too loudly. Again, I say. The guard stiffens. My king? Bow to her, I repeat. He hesitates. I step closer. Now. He bows, jaw tight. When he leaves, Mireia whispers, you didn't have to do that. Yes, I reply. I did. She lowers her gaze. It will make things worse. They were already worse, I say. At breakfast, a maid sets her plate down last. Mireia reaches for it and flinches when the maid sighs. I'm sorry, Mireia says quickly. The maid rolls her eyes. Leave, I order. The maid pales. My king. Now. When she's gone, Mireia whispers, please don't punish them for me. For you? I ask. She nods. I don't want trouble. You are not trouble, I say. She doesn't answer. At council, the air is sharp. This cannot continue, Lord Halric snaps. The people are restless. They're cruel, I reply. They're practical, he says. She weakens your image. She exposes it, I counter. She brings rumors, Eldrick adds carefully. What rumors? I ask. That she cursed you, he says. I laugh once. Do I look cursed? You look distracted, Halric says. After the meeting, I find Mireia in the gardens. They stare less out here, she says quietly. Tell me about your pack, I say. She freezes. You don't have to, I add. They sold me, she says suddenly. I turn. For what? Food, she replies. Safety. Your family agreed? My mother signed, she says calmly. That's not calm, I say. It's quiet, she replies. Quiet keeps you alive. Why didn't you fight? I ask. She finally meets my eyes. Because when I did, people got hurt. By you? I ask. Yes, she answers. I feel it then. Something coiled. Waiting. You think you're dangerous, I say. I am, she replies. That's why they silenced me. That night, whispers reach my chamber. She bewitched him. He's losing control. I punish one noble. Ignore another. I hesitate. Alone, I stare at the ceiling. Am I destroying my rule? I whisper. Mireia hears me. I can leave, she says softly. No, I reply too fast. Why, she asks. You don't want me. I sit up. That's not true. You look at me like a responsibility, she says. Not a choice. Her words cut deeper than insults. I don't know what I want, I admit. She nods. Neither did they. Silence stretches. I learned to disappear, she says. It kept me breathing. I reach out, then stop. I won't disappear you, I say. She looks at me, uncertain. For the first time, I see it clearly. She isn't weak. She learned silence to survive. And my kingdom taught her well. I don't mean to hear it. That's the worst part. I'm passing the East Gallery when Celine's voice drifts through the open doors, smooth and familiar, like it used to be when she whispered promises into my ear. You said this would be quick, she says. A man answers, voice low and amused. You said he was weak. I stop. That was before, Celine replies. Before he chose her. Then remove her, Alpha Roven says. Kings break easily when their mistakes bleed. Celine laughs softly. She doesn't even need to bleed. Fear will do. And the king? Roven asks. He'll defend her, Celine says confidently. That's the trap. When he breaks law for her, the court will tear him apart. And you? Roven asks. I'll pick up the crown, she answers. Like I always planned. My chest tightens. I loved her once. I step back before they see me. At dinner, the scream comes suddenly. He's choking. A noble collapses, clutching his throat. Poison, someone shouts. Eyes turn. To Mireia. She touched his cup, a woman cries. That's a lie, I snap. She cursed you already, another yells. Now this. Guards move. Stop, I roar. Mireia stands still. I didn't do it, she says calmly. But I won't beg. Execution, someone screams. Eldrick grips my arm. The law. I am the law, I say. Celine steps forward, smiling. You'd break ancient decree for her, she asks. Yes, I reply. Mireia whispers, don't. I meet her eyes. Why? They'll destroy you, she says. I won't abandon you, I answer. Silence crashes. Celine's smile widens. You've doomed yourself, she whispers. But I don't regret it. Not once. Night doesn't bring peace. It brings cracks. The chamber is silent except for Maria's breathing. Short. Careful. Like she's afraid sound itself might punish her. You don't have to stand so far away, I say. She doesn't move. I'm fine here. That's not fine, I reply. She wraps her arms around herself. It's safe. I sit on the edge of the table instead of the bed. Nothing here will hurt you. She laughs once. It's hollow. That's what they always said. Silence stretches. You heard them today, she says. The court. I did. They want me dead, she continues. They want control, I answer. She shakes her head. They want quiet. I was never quiet enough. I watch her fingers tremble. Come sit, I say gently. She hesitates, then takes one step forward. Then another. Each step looks like a decision she might regret. She stops halfway. If I tell you, she says, voice barely steady, you might change your mind. I won't, I reply. You don't know that. Try me. Her breath shudders. I sealed it, she whispers. I frown. Sealed what? What's inside me, she says. What they feared. I stay quiet. When I was young, she continues, things happened around me. Not because I wanted them to. Just because I felt too much. What kind of things? I ask. She swallows. Wolves hurt each other. Buildings cracked. Fire answered me. I stiffen. You're saying you. I didn't mean to, she snaps suddenly. I never meant to. Her hands shake harder now. They called me cursed, she says. My pack tried to hide it. My family begged me to stop being myself. And when you couldn't? I ask. They locked me away, she replies. They said silence would save us. My jaw tightens. Did it? No, she whispers. Her eyes glisten. One night, I lost control, she says. Just for a moment. What happened? I ask. She looks at the floor. People died. The words land heavy. My brother, she continues. 2 elders. A child who was standing too close. I don't speak. They looked at me like I was a monster, she says. So I became one in my own mind. I move closer, slowly. I found an old woman, she says. She knew what I was. She taught me how to seal it. At what cost? I ask. Everything, she replies. My voice. My warmth. My future. She finally looks at me, eyes wide with fear. If it breaks, she says, I'll destroy everything again. I shake my head. You don't know that. I do, she insists. That's why I'd rather die than lose control. The words hit harder than any threat. You think death is mercy, I say quietly. She nods. For everyone else. I stand. She flinches. I stop immediately. I'm not angry. You should be, she says. You chose a danger. I chose a woman who survived, I reply. She lets out a broken sound. You don't understand. Then explain it to me, I say. She presses her hands to her chest. Every day I wake up afraid of myself. Afraid of feeling too much. Afraid of caring. Why caring? I ask. Because caring makes it louder, she says. Love is the most dangerous thing. The words linger between us. I'm not asking you to love me, I say. She looks up sharply. I'm asking you to trust me, I continue. Just enough not to run. She shakes her head. Everyone leaves. I'm still here, I say. You'll leave when it costs too much, she whispers. I'm already paying, I reply. And I'm still here. She stares at me, searching. I don't want you to save me, she says. I won't, I answer. I don't want to be fixed. I won't do that either. What do you want, then, she asks. I want to stand with you, I say. Even if the world turns. Her lips part slightly. You don't know what you're promising, she says. I know exactly, I reply. Loneliness. War. Judgment. And still, she asks. And still, I say. Tears finally fall. She covers her face, shoulders shaking. I don't touch her. I wait. When she looks up again, her eyes are raw. If they come for me, she says, you should let them. I won't, I reply. You'll lose everything, she insists. I already almost did, I say. I won't lose myself too. She takes a shaky breath. I've never had someone stay, she says. I'm not leaving, I promise. Say it again, she whispers. I'm not leaving, I repeat. She closes her eyes. For the first time, she leans closer instead of away. Not into my arms. Just closer. And I understand then. She isn't weak. She's been carrying fear alone for too long. And tonight, she finally set it down. The first blade hits stone before the alarm sounds. I hear it scrape, sharp and wrong, slicing through the quiet like a warning meant only for me. Down, I snap. Mireia turns too late. The door explodes inward. Steel flashes. Shadows move fast. Assassins, Kale roars from the corridor. I step in front of her instinctively. Stay behind me. I told you, Mireia whispers. They won't stop. A blade comes from the left. I block it. Another follows, then another. Mireia, don't move, I shout. She moves anyway. Not toward the fight. Toward me. A dagger slips past my guard, spinning end over end. Time slows. No, I breathe. The dagger stops midair. Silver light erupts between us. The air bends. Heat crashes outward in a violent wave. The assassins freeze, eyes wide, mouths open in silent screams. Ancient symbols burn across Mireia's skin, glowing through scars I thought were only pain and memory. The seal shatters. I feel it break like glass inside my chest. The ground trembles. Wolves across the palace howl as one, then fall silent. Then they kneel. Not to me. To her. Mireia, I say, my voice barely sound. Look at me. She doesn't hear me. She's shaking, eyes blazing silver, hair lifting as if the moon itself has wrapped its fingers around her. I can't hold it, she cries. I tried. I tried so hard. Silver fire pours from her hands, curling like living light. The assassins don't even have time to scream. They turn to ash without a single touch. Silence slams down hard. Mireia screams then, not in fear, but in release. The light surges higher, brighter, unbearable. Mireia, I shout. Come back. Her knees buckle. I catch her as she collapses. She's glowing. Warm. alive with power that feels older than memory. I'm sorry, she sobs against my chest. I tried to bury it. I drop to my knees with her in my arms. Look at me, I say, gripping her shoulders. You're here. You're safe. Her eyes meet mine, wide and terrified. I destroy things, she says. I always have. No, I say fiercely. You protected us. She shakes her head. You don't understand. I do, I say. And I realize I mean it. Kale drops to one knee behind me. So does Eldrick. My queen, Eldrick whispers, voice breaking. Mireia stiffens. No. Don't call me that. The symbols on her skin pulse brighter. The truth crashes into me all at once. The stories. The erased records. The fear. You're not an Omega, I whisper. You never were. She sobs harder. I was erased. Moonborn, I say softly. She looks at me like she's waiting for hatred. Say it, she pleads. Hate me. Please. I release her and kneel fully. The world narrows. Mireia, I say, bowing my head. You are not a curse. The bond snaps. Pain floods my chest. Power follows. Warmth. Connection. I gasp, gripping the stone. She cries out at the same moment. Our breaths sink. Our hearts do too. I look up at her, tears in my eyes. You're not alone anymore, I say. She clutches my shoulders. I never wanted this. I know, I reply. Neither did I. The silver light fades slowly. The palace feels different. Awake. Alive. Celine stands frozen at the doorway, horror carved into her face. This isn't possible, she whispers. I don't look at her. I hold Mireia as she trembles. The kingdom has felt it. A goddess has returned. And I understand now. The seal didn't break to destroy us. It broke to tell the truth. The palace doesn't sleep after that. Neither do I. Wolves howl across the city, not in alarm, but in recognition. The sound rolls through stone and bone alike, ancient and instinctive. They feel her, Kale says quietly. Mireia sits beside me, wrapped in a cloak, hands clenched in her lap. The glow is gone, but the weight remains. Eldrick kneels without hesitation. My queen, he says. Please don't, Mireia whispers. He looks at her, eyes wet. I waited my entire life for the stories to be lies. She swallows. I didn't want to exist. Kale drops to one knee as well. You don't have to want it. You already are. She turns to me, panic flickering in her eyes. Tell them to stop. I shake my head gently. I won't force them to deny what they feel. That's not fair, she says. They'll fear me. They feared you before, I reply. Now they'll know why. Messengers arrive before dawn. One pack has sworn loyalty, one pants. Another closed its borders, says the next. 2 alphas demand answers, a third adds. War. The word hangs between us. This is my fault, Mireia says. I told you. You warned me you were afraid, I answer. Not that you were guilty. She presses her hands to her temples. Every time I exist too loudly, people die. Not this time, I say. You don't know that. I do, I reply. Because you're not alone anymore. Celine is dragged into the hall at sunrise. Her hair is disheveled. Her confidence is gone. You planned this, she spits at Mireia. You cursed him. Mireia flinches. I step forward. Choose your next words carefully. Celine laughs hysterically. You bowed to her. You humiliated yourself. I recognize truth, I say. She's a weapon, Celine screams. She'll burn us all. Mireia whispers, maybe she's right. I turn to her sharply. No. You didn't see what I saw, she says. What I did. I see you now, I reply. And that's enough. Celine stares at me. You'd choose her over the kingdom? I don't hesitate. I choose the kingdom by choosing her. Celine's face collapses. This isn't duty, she whispers. This is madness. No, I say. This is honesty. When Celine is taken away, silence follows. Mireia stands slowly. If war comes, it's because of me. If war comes, I say, it will be because others refuse to change. She shakes her head. You don't understand the fear of being worshipped. I understand the fear of being alone, I answer. She looks at me then, really looks. You're not hiding anymore, she says. Neither are you, I reply. Later, on the balcony, the city stretches below us. I never wanted a crown, she says. I never wanted one either, I admit. She laughs softly, surprised. Then why are we here? Because we didn't run, I answer. She grips the railing. If I stay, I might break the world. If you leave, I say, you'll break yourself. She closes her eyes. Choose, she whispers. I already did, I say. I choose you. Openly. Loudly. She exhales, shaky. For the first time, she doesn't apologize. For the first time, the goddess doesn't hide. And the world, finally, remembers her. The first declaration of defiance arrives before breakfast. He's withdrawn support, Eldrick says, placing the letter on the table. Who? I ask. Alpha Bren of the Eastern Pass. I don't touch the letter. He swore loyalty last winter. He swore fear, Kale mutters. Not loyalty. Mireia sits beside me, quiet. Too quiet. They'll all do this, she says softly. The moment power changes hands, cowards speak. They're afraid, Eldrick says. They should be, Kale replies. I shake my head. Fear breeds desperation. And desperation breeds war, Mireia finishes. I look at her. You don't want this. I don't want to be a symbol, she says. I want to be a person. Kale folds his arms. Symbols keep kingdoms alive. They also get people killed, she snaps. Silence follows. I clear my throat. We will answer no threats today. That's weakness, Kale argues. No, I say. It's restraint. Mireia looks at me, surprised. Later, as we walk the inner grounds, whispers follow us. She's watching. She's listening. She could destroy us. Mireia's steps slow. They don't see me, she says. They see a story. They'll learn, I reply. Will they, she asks. Or will they only believe what frightens them? I don't answer. That night, the sky burns red. Roven has crossed the river, a scout pants. He brought 3 packs. So he chose, Kale says grimly. I turn to Mireia. You don't have to fight. She meets my eyes. I do. No, I say. I won't ask that of you. I'm not asking permission, she replies. The battlefield is chaos. Steel clashes. Wolves roar. Hold the line. Kale shouts. Rovan steps forward, laughing. So the goddess hides behind her king? Mireia stiffens. Don't listen, I say. She steps past me. I won't hide, she says quietly. Silver light rises. The ground trembles. Rovan's army breaks. When it ends, Mireia falls. I catch her. Her breathing is shallow. I trusted you, she whispers. I know, I say. And I understand then. Love isn't protection. It's trust. The square fills before the sun fully rises. They want to see her. They always do. Celine stands in the center, wrists bound in silver, chin lifted like she's still untouchable. Dirt stains the hem of her gown, but her eyes remain sharp. You didn't have to make this public, she says when I step forward. Yes, I reply. I did. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Eldric's voice carries. This court will hear the charges. Celine laughs softly. Charges sound so dramatic. Conspiracy, Eldric continues. Treason. Attempted regicide. Manipulation of rival packs. Celine tilts her head. I was protecting the kingdom. You were protecting yourself, I say. She looks at me then, really looks. You used to understand me. I used to believe you, I answer. She smiles sadly. That's worse. Witnesses step forward. A messenger. A guard. A broker from the old auction houses. Each speaks. Each lie cracks. Celine's smile fades piece by piece. You promised us protection, the broker says. You promised power, the guard adds. You promised silence, the messenger finishes. Celine's voice sharpens. I promised survival. At whose cost? I ask. She turns toward Mireia. At hers. At yours. At anyone weaker. Mireia doesn't flinch. Eldric clears his throat. Do you confess? Celine exhales slowly. Yes. Gasps echo. I confess, she repeats. I lied. I plotted. I used people. Her eyes lock onto mine. And I'd do it again. The crowd stirs. You expected mercy, I say quietly. She nods. From you. I shake my head. You don't know me anymore. Her mask finally cracks. You loved me, she whispers. I loved who you pretended to be, I reply. She steps forward, chains clinking. If you exile me, I'll die. You lived off power, I say. Now you'll learn to live without it. Eldric waits. Your judgment, my king. I raise my hand. Celine of no house, I say, voice steady. You are stripped of all titles, lands, and protection. Her breath catches. You are exiled beyond our borders, I continue. You will leave before nightfall. She stares at me. That's it? That's justice, I reply. Guards move. Celine screams then, raw and ugly. You'll regret this. I don't answer. She's dragged away, sobbing, claws scraping stone. Silence follows. The crowd slowly turns. Not to me. To Mireia. She stands beside me, quiet, hands folded. One by one, they kneel. My queen, they murmur. Mireia stiffens. I don't want worship, she whispers. I take her hand. They're not worshipping, I say. They're acknowledging. She exhales shakily. The square empties slowly. When it's just us, she looks at me. Did it hurt? Yes, I admit. Do you regret it? She asks. No, I say. She nods. Karma didn't need my anger. It only needed truth. And Celine finally faced it. Peace does not feel the way I imagined. There are no cheers when the sun rises. No relief in the air. Only tension stretched thin, like everyone is waiting for something to break. They're afraid, Eldrick says, standing beside the council table. They should be tired, I reply. Fear survives longer than war, he answers. The nobles sit stiffly, eyes darting toward Mireia and then away again. This council requests caution, Lord Halric says. Too much has changed too fast. What would you have me do? I ask. Slow it down, he replies. Hide her power. Let time soften the people. Mireia's fingers tighten in her lap. She is not something to hide, I say. Halric's jaw tightens. She is something that frightens us. I stand. Then learn courage. Murmurs ripple. After the council clears, Mireia doesn't follow me. I find her on the outer balcony, wind tugging at her hair. You were quiet, I say. She doesn't turn. I was listening. To fear? I ask. To truth, she replies. I step closer. Talk to me. She exhales. They will never see me as a woman. They will, I say. They see a weapon, she counters. A warning. You're more than that. She finally looks at me. So are you. And look what they made you. The words land hard. You think I'm not afraid? I ask. She hesitates. I think you hide it better. I hide everything, I admit. That's how I survived this crown. She studies me carefully. You shouldn't have to. I shouldn't rule alone, I say. She turns away again. That's why I should leave. The word hits like a blade. No, I say immediately. If I'm gone, she continues, they'll breathe easier. And you? I ask. Will you breathe at all? She closes her eyes. I don't want to be the reason people die. You aren't, I say. Fear is. I am fear to them, she whispers. I step in front of her. Look at me. She does. I am afraid, I say. Every day. Of failing. Of ruling peace worse than war. She blinks. I'm afraid of being alone, I continue. Of waking up and realizing I traded one prison for another. You're not alone, she says softly. I am if you leave, I reply. She swallows. You don't need me to rule. I don't need power, I say. I need choice. She frowns. What does that mean? It means I choose you, I say. Not because of prophecy or fear or fate. Her breath shakes. And if that choice costs you? It already has, I answer. And I'm still standing. She looks at the city below. I don't know how to be normal. I don't know how to be gentle, I admit. We learn. Together, she asks. If you stay, I say. She turns back to me slowly. If I stay, I won't hide. I won't ask you to, I reply. And if I break something, she asks quietly. Then we fix it, I say. Or we face it. She searches my face. You're not promising safety. No, I say. I'm promising honesty. Her shoulders lower slightly. I've never been chosen, she says. Only feared. I reach for her hand and stop halfway. May I? She nods. When our fingers meet, there is no fire. No surge. Just warmth. This isn't fate, she says. No, I agree. It's decision. She lets out a shaky laugh. Peace scares me more than war. Me too, I admit. She steps closer. Then don't face it without me. I squeeze her hand gently. Never again. Behind us, the city hums, uncertain but alive. Peace hasn't settled yet. But for the first time, I don't fear tomorrow. I choose it. The law hall has never been this loud. Not with war. Not with trial. This noise is fear wearing expensive clothes. You cannot erase history, Lord Halric shouts. I'm not erasing it, I reply. I'm ending it. Mireia stands beside me, calm but tense. I can feel it in the way her fingers twitch near her side. This council was built on tradition, another noble snaps. The Lunar Auction kept balance. It kept obedience, I say. And profit. Eldrick clears his throat. The proposal is simple. The auction is abolished. Permanently. Outrage erupts. You'll collapse alliances. You'll invite rebellion. You'll weaken the crown. I raise my hand. The crown was already weak. Silence slams down. It was weak because it fed on fear, I continue. Because it taught people they were property. Halric scoffs. You speak like a dreamer. I speak like a witness, I reply. I watched chains sold as honor. Mireia finally speaks. So did I. Every eye turns to her. I stood on that floor, she says evenly. I was priced. Laughed at. Discarded. A noble mutters, you survived. She looks at him. Others didn't. The hall stills. You fear losing control, I say. That fear ends today. You'll lose the people, Halric warns. The doors open. Commoners fill the chamber. Servants. Guards. Traitors. Mothers. They kneel. We stand with you, one says. The chain breaks. And I finally understand where power lives. The past doesn't die quietly. It knocks. Hard. They're asking for sanctuary, Kale says, dropping a folded report onto the table. Former brokers. Auction runners. Families who profited. Sanctuary, I repeat. They claim they were following law, Eldrick adds. They fear retribution. Mireia's jaw tightens. They fear justice, she says. I look at her. Do you want me to show them mercy? She hesitates. I want you to choose what lets you sleep. The meeting with them is ugly. We built stability, one man insists. Without us, packs will starve. You sold children, I reply. We sold futures, another says. Mireia steps forward. You sold my brother. Silence slams down. The man pales. We didn't know. You never asked, she says. I feel the choice pressing into my chest. Mercy or consequence. You will stand trial, I say. Not for revenge. For truth. They scream. They beg. I feel nothing. Later, Mireia sits beside the fire, staring into the flames. I dreamed of this, she says. Facing them. And? I ask. It didn't heal me, she admits. I sit down slowly. What would? She looks at me. Building something they can't touch. We talk until the fire burns low. About children. About laughter. About mistakes. Do you want them? I ask. Children, she says. Yes. She smiles softly. In a world that doesn't sell them. I nod. Then that's the legacy. Not blood. Choice. And finally, peace feels possible. The offer comes at night. It always does. Eldrick waits in my study, face pale, hands folded too neatly. They're here, he says. I told you not to wake me for ghosts, I reply. These aren't ghosts, he says. They're older. I follow him into the lower chamber, the one sealed for generations. The air feels heavy, like it remembers things. 3 figures wait in the shadows. You know who we are, the tallest one says. I know what you claim to be, I answer. Guardians, another says. Of balance. Of control, I correct. They smile. You've done well, the first says. You ended chaos. You restored order. I broke chains, I reply. Order came after. That's why we're here, he says. We can offer you peace that never breaks. I don't respond. Eternal stability, the second continues. No rebellion. No war. At what cost? I ask. They glance toward the doorway. Mireia, the first says. My chest tightens. Explain. She is the source of imbalance, he says calmly. Too much power. Too much will. She's a person, I snap. She's a force, he counters. Bind her fully to the crown, and the world settles. I laugh once, sharp. You want a leash. A sacrifice, the third says. Her freedom, for your kingdom. I turn away before my anger burns the room down. When I return to my chambers, Mireia is awake. You're shaking, she says. I was offered a throne, I reply. She studies my face. You already have one. This one never cracks, I say. She sits up slowly. What's the price? I don't answer. Her eyes soften. It's me. I swallow. They want to bind you. She exhales. I knew this day would come. No, I say fiercely. You don't get to accept it before I speak. She reaches for my hand. Listen to me. I let her. I was never free, she says. Not really. You are now, I reply. For how long, she asks gently. Kings don't get forever. They offered me forever, I say. She smiles sadly. At my expense. Silence stretches. I could end war, I whisper. End suffering. And begin another, she says. They would never rise again, I insist. They would never choose again, she replies. Her words cut deeper than fear. What if I fail? I ask quietly. She cups my face. Then we face it together. You could be bound, I say. Safe. Untouchable. I would be owned, she corrects. I close my eyes. I love you, she says. But I won't live as Peace's prisoner. The guardians return at dawn. Have you decided? They ask. Yes, I say. I step forward. I refuse. Their smiles vanish. You would risk everything? The first asks. I already did, I reply. I take Mirea's hand. I choose a living kingdom, I say. Not a silent one. The chamber trembles. So be it, they say. They vanish like a bad memory. Mireia exhales, shaky. You could have ruled forever, she says. I don't want forever without you, I reply. She rests her forehead against mine. That's the choice that remains, she whispers. And I finally know who I am. The morning feels different. Not louder. Not brighter. Lighter. I stand at the balcony as the city wakes, watching smoke rise from kitchens instead of battlefields. You didn't sleep, Mireia says behind me. I did, I lie. She joins me, resting her arms on the stone railing. You chose chaos. I chose people, I reply. She smiles faintly. That's worse. Council meets at noon. Not because I summoned them. Because they asked. That alone tells me everything. Lord Halric speaks first, voice slower than it used to be. The packs are settling. Some still resist, Eldrick adds. But fewer every day. Because no one is forcing them, I say. Kale nods. Shared command calmed the borders. Halric frowns. Kings don't share power. They do if they want peace, I reply. Mireia steps forward. I won't rule alone. The nobles stiffen. I won't rule above you, she continues. I will stand among you. Silence stretches. You're giving up divine authority, Halric says. I never wanted it, she answers. I meet her eyes. Neither did I. Later, in the streets, people stop bowing so low. Some just nod. Some smile. A child tugs Mireia's sleeve. Are you still magic? She kneels. I always was. I just don't hide anymore. That night, I remove the crown. I set it on the table. Mireia watches quietly. You're not wearing it, she says. I don't need it, I reply. She steps closer. You've changed. I stopped pretending, I answer. She reaches for my hand. No chains. No fear. Just choice. And for the first time, I rule free. The kingdom heals in pieces. Not with banners. Not with songs. With mornings that don't start in fear. I wake to sunlight instead of alarms. Mireia is already awake, sitting by the window, laughing softly at something below. What is it? I ask. A baker tripped, she says, smiling. He blamed the wind. I sit up. Was it the wind? She grins. It was his pride. That sound, her laughter, still surprises me. It's easy now. Unforced. We walk through the city without guards. People notice, of course, but they don't freeze anymore. They speak. You look rested, an old woman tells me. I am, I reply. She nods toward Mireia. She's brighter. Mireia blushes. I'm just awake. Later, Kale joins us at the training grounds. They're rebuilding the eastern wall, he says. Volunteers showed up. No orders? I ask. No threats, he replies. He watches Mireia spar with a group of young wolves. She doesn't hide, he says. She doesn't need to, I answer. Eldrick meets me in the afternoon. You've rewritten half the laws, he says. I didn't do it alone, I reply. He smiles. That's the point. That evening, Mireia and I sit by the fire. Do you miss it? She asks. The crown? I ask. Yes. I think for a moment. I miss who I thought it made me. And who are you now? She asks. A man who listens, I say. Sometimes too much. She laughs. Good. I look at her scars, faint but still there. They never left, she says quietly. No, I reply. But they don't own you. She leans against me. They don't scare me anymore. I close my eyes. I remember the man I was. Cold. Afraid. Hiding behind tradition. I chose you because I was angry, I admit. She looks up. Only because of that? I stayed because I learned, I say. Learned what? She asks. That strength doesn't roar, I reply. It stays. She smiles softly. That night, I take the crown from its stand. I hold it. Then I set it down. Mireia watches. Are you sure? I've never been more, I answer. She takes my hand. No fate. No chains. Just choice. And for the first time, the future feels free.